So, when TTSA was going full guns, I encountered many people who said, that's a CIA op, that's a lot of BS. I always fought against that interpretation. I never believed it. I always felt that those folks were, some of them are a little more establishment oriented than myself. That's true. But understanding their motivations, I always felt that those were legit motivations. I still believe that. And I think, what really are we looking at? You had Chris Mellon behind the scenes bringing Eric Davis in to speak to members of Congress a couple of years ago. That clearly had an impact. A lot of the work that you guys did behind the scenes had an impact. And what we're seeing now, I think, is enough of this toothpaste is out of the tube that people now are permitted to talk about it, and it's what we're now seeing is a battle, a war within the national security establishment. That's really what we're seeing. It's a factional war. So you have the old OG Donald Kehoe decades ago called the Secrecy Group. They're still around, but you have what I like to call the insurgency, and we're all part of that insurgency. You guys are very active in it. David Grush now is part of the insurgency. Ralph Blumenthal and Leslie Kean are part of the insurgency. Chris Mellon, Tom DeLonge, Hal Puthoff, they're part of the insurgency as well. And they've made their push, and we are now seeing the result. We've had congressional hearings. We have the promise of more hearings in the future. We had a bit of a battle over the UAP Disclosure Act, not a surprise. And so this is where we are. We are at a turning point. Whether this will result in a genuine, honest disclosure is a whole other question. But we're at a point where, in the history of this phenomenon, we've never been here before. There were moments in the 1960s where people thought this could break open. The old Condon Committee. Will the University of Colorado give an honest scientific conclusion on this? And we now know that was a rigged game. And there have been a variety of moments in the past where things briefly looked like they could break open, but nothing like this. This is I feel this is qualitatively different. So I think it's the end result of a long-standing technological, cultural transformation. That's what I think.
You were, as I mentioned, you started looking at the Cold War as an historian at national security issues, where it eventually leads, what it means to our republic, excessive secrecy. Looking back on that now, are you sympathetic at all to the U.S. military and its extreme paranoia about keeping a lid on the UFO issue at the time when the start of the modern UFO era? And has it changed for them, or is it always going to be inextricably intertwined with national security concerns?